all the mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know.
Well, Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this broadcast. Got an amazing word for you on today. I was listening to my cousin, and I had another word planned that I was going to say, but as I was listening to my cousin's, his name is Tim Harris, and he makes these posts, and these posts turn into these little funny memes, and he was making these memes about the birth of Christ and how that whole thing happened. And as I was listening to what he was, as I was reading the post that he had made, I began to reflect on that whole thing about the birth of Christ, what we call the Immaculate Conception, what our faith is built on. I began to look at it. You know, it did not go the way that we read it, right? Because when we read it, we think, oh, okay, she just obeyed God, and then, wow, that's not how that happened. And so that's what gave me the pause to minister to you guys today. And I'm going to title this message, God, You've Wrecked My Plans. God, You've Wrecked My Plans. And I was reading these posts that my cousin made. I encourage you to go back and read them. They're very funny. My cousin Tim Harris made these posts on Facebook. They're very funny, but they're very insightful when you really look at them. And that's what I was doing. I was looking at them, and they were funny, but I began to reflect, and it made me think about my own life. You know, Mary and Joseph had plans. You know they had plans, right? Joseph, okay, we're going to get married, Mary, right? And I'm a carpenter. I'm going to build you this beautiful house on the countryside, maybe overlooking one of the seas. You know, we're gonna have a white picket fence around it. You know, we're going to have some animals out there. You know, we're going to build this wonderful life together. And when we have children, Mary, I'll pray. Oh, I've just been praying. You know, he had plans. And my plan is that my first child is going to be a boy, right? And I'm going to name him Joseph Jr. And he's going to take on the family business. Joseph and Joseph Contracting. He had plans. He saw this in his mind. Joseph and Joseph Contracting business, building homes all throughout Nazareth, right? I don't know. But that was his plan. He had a very local plan. You know, they invited their friends, their family, their cousins, their uncles, all got invitations to come to the wedding that they were going to have. And not only that, Mary, after we have our child and we're going to start this business together, you know, I plan to move and travel, and I plan to go see this, and I plan to go see that. Mary had plans, right? I'm going to be the perfect wife. You know, just the honor of my dad walking me down the aisle and giving me away because I've kept myself, you know, hurt my father. I haven't brought any shame to my family's name. So when they give me away, I mean, my father's going to be so proud. Can you imagine that? That was their plan. One of my favorite speakers says this: if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. You know, they had these wonderful plans of life that they were going to build together, but God had a bigger plan. What do you do when God interrupts your plan for his plan? I mean, do you fight it? Do you kick? Do you scream? Do you try to do like Joseph did the first time? Do you try to just turn away as if it never happened? Do you try to ignore it? What do you do when God changed the trajectory of your life and tell you to begin to walk in another direction? This is what took place. They had a certain trajectory, a certain road that they wanted to walk. But God stepped in and changed the entire trajectory of their life. Yeah, Joseph, I know you only want to be known locally as the best local carpenter in this side of Nazareth. I know you want to build a small business. But Joseph, my plan for your life is for your name to be known to the end of time. My plan for your life is to show fathers how to be good fathers, to show fathers how to be good stepfathers, how to show fathers how to still walk in loyalty and trust when everybody is questioning the integrity of your family, when everybody is questioning you. You protect and guard the integrity of your wife. I know you had plans, but see, my plan is to build a story out of your life that's going to change the world. Mary, I know you had plans to be the best mother to Joseph's first child, but no, Mary, I have another plan for your life. Your name will be known to the end of times. Your name and how you look will be placed in cathedrals all across the world. They will never forget Mary. They will never forget who you are. They will never forget. Yes, I know you had plans to support your husband, but I want you to hold my child in his final hours. I know you had plans, Mary, but I have another plan for your life, and it's greater than the plan that you have. What do you do when God interrupts your plans? Because see, 2023 is right around the corner. God is about to deposit some amazing plans for your life, for my life, to change the world. What are you going to do when God wrecks your plan? I want to share 3 lessons with you, and then I'll be done. 3 points, 3 points with you, and then I'll be done, because I believe we can learn a lot from Joseph. I know I'm highlighting Joseph because it's just, I'm just intrigued with his life and how he stood by his wife, how he protected her name, how he stood in moments of controversy, but he stood there. I'm just amazed at the strength that he displayed. I'm just amazed. Yeah, I know Mary is great. I do. I'm not diminishing anything that she done, but I'm just amazed at what he did. And I want to share 3 things that I believe he did will help you as we begin to walk into 2023 and as you begin to have a Merry Christmas. Number 1, we need to pray. We need to pray. Sometimes when God gives you a plan, the first thing you want to do is you want to get up and you want to do something, or sometimes you don't understand it, so you just ignore it as if it never happened. One of the things that I love about this is said that when there's this description in Matthew chapter, the 1st chapter, it says that when Joseph got the news, when Mary told him, he said he wanted to put her away privately. The Bible called him a righteous man, and he wanted to put her away privately. That doesn't seem too righteous to me. It seemed like you're trying to protect yourself. It seems selfish to me. Now, that's the way I interpret it. It seems selfish. I'm going to go and put you away privately. But when he had that dream, and I'm equating the dream to prayer. When God releases a word to your life, or you hear the next level that God wants to take you to, I believe you need to spend some time in prayer. It's praying time, guys. We have got to get back to praying and seeking God for the plan that he has for your life. My pastor used to say this all the time. Sometimes we're thinking ABC, and God is clearly saying X, Y, Z. My ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. He says, my ways are far higher than your ways, my thoughts. So we need to pray and seek God for his thoughts, his plan for our life, and you do that through prayer. Number 2, you need to pause. Some of the most trying times I've almost derailed my ministry is that I call just knee-jerk decisions. When people would do something, I would do something. When I heard something, I would just move. I would just almost derailed the ministry and the call of God on my life. Just knee-jerk decisions. Not only do you need to pray, but you need to make the next thing, and you need to pause. The Bible says that Joseph wanted to put Mary away. Just think if he would have just reacted on that, if he would have just moved on that. She embarrassed me, I'm just done. And he just moved. He could have aborted the plan of God for his life. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you just moved without prayer and you've aborted what God wanted to do for you? Not only do you need to pray, but you need to pause and listen for the instruction that God has for you. And then number 3, you need to press. You need to pray. You need to pause for clear direction. And you need to press. What do you mean press? Can you imagine the turmoil, the shame, the quiet talk and whispers that was going on in that town at that time? When Jesus was born, people was like, he don't even look like Jesus. Everybody that didn't get the story, everybody that didn't get the mail, sometimes your family try to cover things up and they look and they like, he don't look nothing like Joseph. No, but he looks more like the baker down there. People make up their own narrative. People gonna make up their own story now. He looks a little bit like what? Like the other man, and they begin to make these narratives up. But what I love about Joseph is he stood by his family. And you got to press. Because see, sometimes when God releases an instruction for your life, you're the only one that heard it. And sometimes it's hard to explain what God has said to you. You know why? Because he said it to you. And trying to explain to family members, cousin them, auntie and them. You're trying to explain to people that they haven't even walked a mile what you walked in, but you're trying to get them to understand and to get to see what God is trying to do in your life, and they don't see it. Let me tell you something. Let me free you. They're never going to see it, so you need to press. And you need to press against those inner demons that you're fighting against. Those inner demons telling you, did you really hear God? I mean, do you really know that this is what you're supposed to be doing? You need to put all of that aside and know that you know that you've heard God. And when you know that you have heard God, put your blinders on and only listen to his voice and only follow his instruction for your life. You need to pray. You need to pause. And you need to press. God bless you. We'll see you on the